Okay, let's talk about something you do every single day, probably without even thinking about it: eating. But what if I told you that every single bite you take is part of this huge, fascinating scientific process? That's what we're digging into today: nutrition. It's the basic science of how all life, including us, gets its fuel.
I mean, seriously, have you ever really stopped and thought about it? What is that sandwich or that piece of fruit actually doing inside you? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer is going to take us on this amazing journey, all the way from the power of the sun, down to the deepest parts of the ocean, and right into the trillions of cells that make you, you. So, at its core, what is nutrition? Well, simply put, it's the process of taking in food and using it for, well, everything. We're talking about building muscle, growing, and even just having the energy to get through the day. It's kind of like the engine room of life. So in this explainer, we're going to pop the hood and see how it all works.
To really get nutrition, you have to start with the biggest split in the entire natural world. You can think of it like a giant cafeteria. You've got the ones who make their own food from scratch, and then you've got everyone else who has to, let's say, take it from others. Literally every living thing on Earth fits into one of these two groups.
So on one side you have the autotrophs. These are the makers. They're like the master chefs of planet Earth. They take really simple ingredients like carbon dioxide and water and use an outside energy source to cook up their own meals. Then you've got the heterotrophs, the takers. And yep, that's us. We can't make our own food, so we have to get it by eating the makers or by eating other takers. It's the original food chain. And even within the Makers Club, there's some wild variety. You've got the ones we all know, the phototrophs. They're basically solar-powered chefs using sunlight to make their food. But then you have chemotrophs, and these guys are like mad scientists, whipping up food using just chemical reactions, often in crazy places like the pitch-black bottom of the ocean. It's just incredible. All right, so now that we've met the planet's chefs, let's talk about the customers, the takers. This is where things get really, really diverse, because how an organism gets its food pretty much defines its whole life. So we're going to go on a little culinary tour of the animal kingdom. And trust me, some of the items on the menu are pretty surprising.
For most animals, including us, the method is called holozoic nutrition. You could call it the eat now, figure it out later approach. You take in complex food, and then all this amazing internal machinery gets to work breaking it all down and turning it into you.
And this whole thing happens in 5 main steps. First up, you've got ingestion. That's the fun part, the actual eating. Then comes digestion, where your body starts breaking that food down into tiny pieces. Next is absorption, where all the good stuff gets pulled into your system. After that is assimilation, where your cells actually use those nutrients. And finally, there's egestion, which is, the less glamorous but totally necessary final step. Now, what different animals actually eat can get pretty weird. We all know about herbivores eating plants, carnivores eating meat, and omnivores eating a bit of everything. But nature has some other diets out there that might make you raise an eyebrow. It just goes to show how adaptable life is. But just when you think you've heard it all, there's this. Let me give you a hint. This particular diet is not for the squeamish. That's right. Sanguivorous means blood eater. From leeches to mosquitoes, and of course vampire bats, some animals have evolved to get all their nutrients straight from the blood of other creatures. It's a super specialized diet, and a pretty good reminder that nature isn't always cute and fuzzy. Okay, so we've seen some of the wild ways other creatures get their fuel. But now, let's bring it all back home and talk about us. What are the essential building blocks that our bodies need? What are the big things we absolutely have to function? Well, it really all comes down to what we can call the big 3. These are the macronutrients, and they're the foundation of our entire diet: carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids, which, we just call fats. You can think of them as the 3 pillars holding up your nutrition, and each one has a very specific and very important job. First up, carbohydrates. These are your body's fast fuel. They're like the premium gasoline that gives you that quick, immediate energy to get up and go. And one of their most important jobs is that they actually prevent your body from using protein for energy, which means your body doesn't have to break down its own muscle tissue for fuel. And yeah, nobody wants that. Next, we've got proteins. So if carbs are the fuel, proteins are the bricks and mortar. They are literally the building blocks that make you up: your muscles, your organs, your hair, even your immune system. They're the reason you can heal from an injury and fight off sickness.
And finally, lipids, or fats. These are your body's energy reserve. They're like a high-capacity power bank, storing super dense energy for when you need it down the road. They also keep you warm and protect your organs, and they're absolutely essential for absorbing certain vitamins. So even though they get a bad rap sometimes, they are incredibly important.
Now, check this out. This chart really shows you why fats are such an amazing energy reserve. See that big bar on the right? A single gram of fat has almost 10 kilocalories of energy. That's more than double what you get from a gram of carbs. It is a supercharged battery built right into your body.
So, we've got our fuel from carbs, our building blocks from protein, and our backup power from fats. But that's not the whole story. To make all of that actually work, our bodies need a little bit of help. They need a whole team of what you could call unsung heroes to keep the entire operation running smoothly.
And I'm talking about vitamins and minerals. Think of them as your body's toolbox. You only need them in tiny, tiny amounts compared to the big three, but without them, the whole system just grinds to a halt. They're like the spark plugs that make the engine fire up. And this just shows you how critical they are. A lack of vitamin A can cause night blindness. Not enough vitamin C, and you could get scurvy, like old-timey sailors. Not enough vitamin K, and your blood can't clot properly. So yeah, these tiny little molecules have absolutely gigantic jobs.
Okay, so we've got the big three macronutrients for energy and structure, and we have the micronutrients that act as the tools to make it all work. So how do we put it all together? What's the actual blueprint for a healthy diet?
Well, here's the big takeaway. It all comes down to a balanced diet. It's not about focusing on one nutrient or cutting out another one completely. It's about getting the right mix of everything we just talked about. Carbs, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. It's about creating this incredible symphony of nutrients for your body.
So, the next time you sit down to eat, just take a second and look at what's on your plate. It's not just food, it's fuel, it's information. It's the amazing story of life on this planet, all right there, ready to keep you going, one bite at a time. Happy eating.